A lot more still to come here on pregame. From Fab 5 to the NBA, Jalen Rose has seen it all in 13 years. He discusses straight ahead on pregame.
Suns lead is 2. Can they seal the deal? It's Nash again. And down it goes for MV Steve. 2-point game. Into the hands of Derek Martin. Looks up into the front court. Lets it fly. High arching shot. Goes over the backboard and down go the Raptors.
That was last night. I like it. NV Steve. Certainly 2 in a row for Steve Nash. Now, the Suns struggled out of the gate this season. They started just 1-5. However, since been red hot, winning 22 of 25, averaging over 110 points a game, shooting 49% from the field. The Phoenix Suns are 23-8 and have righted their ship after a tough start. We're joined now by one of the Suns veterans, Jalen Rose. And Jalen, you don't need me to tell you this. You've been around a long time. What is different about this team than some of the other ones you've played for?
This is a hungry team. It's a great bunch of guys that get along in the locker room, that get along on the bus, get along on the airplane. And once we get out there on the court, we play together as a unit. We have a unique style of play with Steve Nash, the 2-time MVP, spearing the attack. A healthy Amari Stoudemire coming back, and Sean Marion, who I think is our most important player because he does so many things on the floor. And we really just shock teams by our style of play and so many guys that can put the ball in the basket.
You bring up that style of play, and certainly very unselfish with the basketball, very up-tempo. Not many teams have been able to win a championship with that style. Why do you think the Suns can?
Well, anytime I think you're going to be a championship contender, you have to knock on the door first. In the last 2 seasons, the Phoenix Suns have made it to the Western Conference Finals, and hopefully this will be the season that we find a way to get over the hump.
Now, you mentioned Steve Nash. You've been around. You've been a great point guard. What makes Steve Nash different? Why is he great, Jalen?
Not only is he a pass-first point guard that keeps everybody happy, which allows everybody to pick up the tab when we go to lunch and go to dinner because everybody loves Steve Nash, but also he can knock down big shots. I call him the assassin because he always makes the big shots during the game, at the end of the game. He shoots over 50% from the field, almost 90% from the line, over 40% from the three-point line. And because of that, it allows teams to have to play him honest, and in turn, he can break down the defense and distribute to guys like the best of them.
Now, Jalen, let's jump around the NBA a little bit. You were drafted by the Nuggets in the first round out of Michigan. What did you think about the trade with the Sixers bringing AI to Denver?
If you're a Denver fan, I think it's great. I think it's great to create some enthusiasm along with Carmelo Anthony to show your fans that you're truly trying to be a championship contender, if not this season, here in the near future. And it's going to be good in the box office. It's going to be good with jersey sales, and it's going to create excitement if you're Denver. If you're Philadelphia, you look at the situation as though you haven't made the playoffs the last couple of seasons, and even though Allen Iverson was a Hall of Famer in your uniform, it's probably time to start over. So it's probably a win-win for both. But we really have to wait and see how those draft picks pan out, because that dreaded word draft pick a lot of times is a weary word in professional sports.
All right, Jalen, let's go to the 2-minute warning now. We need a clock. We need a whistle. Let's get this thing underway. I understand you're a big football fan. The playoffs start this weekend. Who's heading to the Super Bowl from the AFC and NFC?
From the AFC, I think the 2 best teams are the San Diego Chargers and the Baltimore Ravens. And at the end of the day, I think the San Diego Chargers just have more explosiveness on offense with the MVP, LaDainian Tomlinson, to take them over the top.
How about in the NFC? Who gets there?
Wow, in the NFC, I really like the New Orleans story. Who knew that Drew Brees was going to have the kind of season that he's having, along with the Chicago Bears, when you look at that defense led by Brian Urlacher. But because Russ Grossman hasn't really been able to put up the kind of numbers here in the regular season, unless my Michigan boy Brian Griese gets in there, I think New Orleans is going to find a way to get over the top.
All right, Chargers Saints, who wins?
Chargers Saints, what a great Super Bowl. I have to go with the San Diego Chargers in that one. Marty Schottenheimer, the veteran coach who's been around the block, against Sean Payton, who's really trying to elevate that New Orleans Saints team and franchise. But New Orleans is a great story for sports.
All right, Jalen, you got it down. Now, let's jump to Michigan. What's the greatest legacy, in your opinion, of Fab 5?
The greatest legacy of the Fab 5 is we created unity. We showed young players you didn't have to be a snotty-nosed freshman to come in college and sit around for 2 or 3 years and watch the veterans, you know, kind of take over the situation, and also changing the game with the big shorts, the black shoes, the black socks, and the camaraderie of ball heads. and also starting 5 freshmen in the national championship game, which is something I don't think that's going to happen ever.
All right, Jalen, give Isaiah Thomas, your former coach, give him a letter grade as GM and head coach of the Knicks.
A letter grade until you probably make the playoffs and do the things that the fans want to see there in New York. He has to get a C right now. And obviously at the end of the day, James Dolan is going to be the ultimate judge. If he feel like the team does improve, then I think Isaiah will keep his job. And I would really love to see him keep his job because he's a childhood idol of mine, and I played for him in Indiana as well as New York.
All right, quickly, best coach you ever played for?
Best coach I ever played for, Larry Bird. The guy that came in for a short stint, the guy that also took us to the conference finals as well as the NBA finals, something that the Indiana Pacers haven't done before that time, and after 2000 still haven't done.
All right, Jalen Rose, well-versed on basketball, football, and everything else, a long NBA career. Thanks so much for joining us today, Jalen.
Thank you very much.